Assalamu alaikum everyone. I think we all need cup of tea or a coffee at the moment, but let's proceed with the case. I hope you will enjoy the case. This is a case of 26-year-old mother with sudden onset of dyspnea. So this is a case history of 26-year-old housewife. She was married, had 4 kids. She presented in the ER with complaint of fever, cough and dyspnea for the last 3 days and worsening of the symptoms since morning. Fever was low grade, not documented, and was associated with dry cough that were in bouts. She developed worsening dyspnea for the last 3 days, but symptoms become unbearable since morning, so she visited in the ER. There was no family history of TB, asthma, and diabetes. In the past history, she was diagnosed with some kind of disorder 2 to 3 months back and started on systemic steroids. But husband failed to give detailed history at that point in time because of her clinical condition. She had dyspnea on and off for the last 1 year, which was progressive and not settling down with any kind of the treatment. But clinically, she was deteriorating day by day since then. On examination, she was a young female with average height and build, unable to talk, sit and lie. She was extremely restless due to the dyspnea, and I was unable to auscultate her because of her extreme distress. Her oxygen saturation was 80% on room air, heart rate was 145 per minute, respiratory rate was 38, blood pressure was slightly on the lower side. So this is my first question to the audience. What could be the reason for her respiratory distress? And the options are A, pneumonia, B, pulmonary embolism, pneumothorax, ARDS, or none of the above. Please vote. Okay, vote. So 40% think is none of the above, 20% think it's pneumothorax, 20% ARDS, and 20% pneumonia. So this is the chest X-ray, and you can see there is left-sided pneumothorax with the mediastinum shift toward the right side, and you can see the lung parenchyma is not healthy as well. So this was the chest X-ray. So left chest tube thoracostomy was done. Lung got expanded, but air leak persisted. Her oxygen requirement went down from 15 liter to 5 liter. Her blood count was normal, CRP was slightly raised, and rest of the lab investigation were normal. Now, what should be the next step in this case? Should we go for COVID PCR, HRCT, bronchoscopy, beta-D-glucane, and galactomannan level for fungal infection, or echocardiography? Please vote. Okay, so 25% think it's COVID, 25% HRCT, 25% beta-glucane, and 25% think it's echo. So let's see. So this is the HRCT chest. I apologize, the images are not as good. I think I need to change my mobile. This is the HRCT that is showing collapsed lung. Actually, the issue was when we off the suction, the lung got collapsed. So this is the chest tube in place, but the pneumothorax is there. You can see bilateral ground glass. There's her cystic areas as well, bilaterally on the left side as well as on the right side. The cystic area is visible over here. So this was the HRCT chest. COVID PCR came out negative. She was started on antibiotic, continue on systemic steroid, and she got better. On examination, now when she was getting better, we got a chance to examine her. And when we examined her, she had small opening of the mouth, and rest of the examination was all normal. And on auscultation, there were bilateral cackles audible. So for the audience, considering the HRCT and examination finding, what is the most likely diagnosis in her case? Is it ARDS? Is it systemic sclerosis ILD? Is it fungal infection, IPF, or none of the above? Please vote. Okay, so 25% think it's ARDS, 50% think it's IPF, and 25% think it's none of the above. Remember, she had a small opening of the mouth and she had bilateral crackles. So this was actually her NT-SCL70 came out positive. She had NCUP ANA positive, and echo was normal. So she was started on immunosuppressive therapy on mycophenolate, and steroid was gradually tapered. She discharged home with the chest tube on suction. Unfortunately, she presented in the ER again with a mild dyspnea and right-sided chest pain this time. And we did a chest x-ray. It showed right-sided pneumothorax. So we did chest tube insertion on the right side. So what should be the next step in her case now? Should we induce sputum? Should we go for bronchoscopy? Do we give empiric ATT? We should give antifungal therapy or nintedanib. Please vote. I'm little in a hurry because time is very short. I hope you guys. Okay, so 33% think we should go for bronchoscopy, 33% think induce sputum, 33% think you should go for nintedanib. So her microbiology came out negative and we started her on nintedanib. Nintedanib was not available in Pakistan. Her husband arranged all the way from UAE and she was started on nintedanib and she achieved a maximum dose of 150 milligram BD. She was continued on mycophenolate, prednisolone, and after 3 months her air leak stopped and lung expanded off suction. So what we did chemical pleurodesis with doxycycline. First we did on the left side and patient discharged home, and after 3 weeks we did right-sided pleurodesis. Patient was maintaining saturation on 1 liter at that point in time. So you can see the chest x-ray. This was the chest x-ray on arrival when the patient had pneumothorax and bilateral parenchymal changes. Now this is the chest x-ray after bilateral pleurodesis and chest tube removal. You can see subpleural cystic area on the right side as well. This is the follow-up CT scan. You can see the ground glass is better. There's few septal thickening. There's cystic area, one on the right side. There are few on the left side and the larger one on the left side as well. This is the chest x-ray after 6 months, and now you can see how the lungs looks right now. The chest x-ray showing marked improvement in bilateral lung parenchyma, and now she is on room air. She's maintaining 92% saturation on room air. So this is the final diagnosis: acute exacerbation of ILD secondary to systemic sclerosis that was complicated by bilateral pneumothorax, and there was a clinical improvement on immunosuppression and nintedanib. So my take-home message is you should never lose hope even in a hopeless situation. The mortality with systemic sclerosis is quite high and 10-year survival is low, but the trial suggested that nintedanib reduced the rate of decline in vital capacity by 44% compared to placebo, and our patient did a wonderful improvement on nintedanib therapy. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Nausheen. Thank you.